This is a right foot, and the articular surface, or the bone that articulates with the distal tibia, is called the talus. Everybody say talus.
Talus.
Your heel bone is your calcaneus.
Calcaneus.
In front of the heel bone is the cuboid,
Cuboid.
and it articulates with the fifth and fourth metatarsal. Everybody say fifth and fourth metatarsal.
Fifth and fourth metatarsal.
Notice that what I would say the regular toes have three phalanges. There's a proximal, middle, and a distal phalanx. So everybody say proximal phalanx.
Proximal phalanx.
Okay, very good. A couple of clinical notes on this side of the foot. The cuboid, a lot of times if a person is going up a ladder, as they go up the rung of the ladder, this one gets forced upward, and so pain on the lateral side of the foot, a lot of times in a chiropractic way, that bone can be adjusted back down and can restore the proper motion of that bone, and it can sometimes be fixated upward. The proximal ends of the metatarsals are what articulate with the ankle bones, as we would call these. Let's go to the medial aspect of the foot. This one that is the one that is in the shape of a boat is called the navicular bone. Say navicular.
Navicular.
And I can remember that because it sounds like navy or boat to me. There is a medial, intermediate, and a lateral cuneiform bone, and notice that each one of these respectively articulates with the proximal ends of the metatarsal heads of the big toe and these two smaller toes. So I want you to say medial cuneiform,
Medial cuneiform.
intermediate cuneiform,
Intermediate cuneiform.
lateral cuneiform.
Lateral cuneiform.
Now, in a kind of a sick and weird way, can you see how that these bones are rather geometric? They have flat surfaces. In the old days, bones of the wrists and of the foot oftentimes were used as dice. Can you see this? There's a surface. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another interesting note that's not historical, possibly. The great toe has only two phalangeal bones. There is a proximal and a distal phalanx. The great toe also is oftentimes called the hallux. Another clinical note before we leave, the navicular is a very important bone in the medial longitudinal arch of the foot. So a foot as it's resting normally has an arch in it, and if this bone has dropped, then it will flatten this arch. And then in a weird way, what happens is once the medial arch of the foot flattens, it causes the tibia it causes everything to knock inward, and then it also affects the knee ultimately. And so that's why it's important to have a good medial arch in the shoe so that it doesn't have the effect on the ankle and then on the knee. And then of course, as you would guess, if you have a problem in your ankle and your knee, it radiates up the entire locomotor chain to the hip and the low back. And so a person can have a fallen arch on one of their feet and have a low back problem along with it, caused by this. Interesting.